Late night happy hour, Tuesday. Alex Crawford is here. Maybe we'll be joined by a special guest later on. It's Cofield. Much to get into. These are the nights we dreamed of, like back in April when we had no sports. What happens when everything's going on at the same time? No football today, but we had plenty of baseball and basketball, and we got a lot of stuff to get into with maybe a little politics, maybe some local issues around Las Vegas. Certainly a lot of Raider news to get to. Alex Crawford is back. Where have you been, my friend? Where have you been?
Back. I've been busy. I've been staying real busy, Cofield. Staying real busy, filming a lot of stuff. Youth football being one of them. I think I told you guys. I mean, that's why I was in Vegas before, the youth football project. So we're trying to get that released, and just been staying busy. It's good to be back. Where's Big Mac tonight?
I don't know. He just said he couldn't do it.
Oh.
So we do it when we can do it, right? I saw you. Did you have more dealings with the city council down in Newport?
Yes, that was last Wednesday. Yes, my friend and I moderated the election forum, which is basically the debate for the city council. And it actually was really fun. I think it was better than the presidential debate on Tuesday night. Honestly,
how could it not be?
Yeah, the bar is so low. Yeah, what's up, Brady? I expected a comment like that from him. Yeah, no, it was awesome. We moderated the city council election forum last Wednesday, and it went really well. It was jovial. It was fun. No one was at each other's throats. We could have been more intense because there's at least one certain anti-masker on running for city council, and we pressed him a little bit on that. He owns a restaurant in Newport Beach, and he doesn't allow his employees to wear masks. No. And he doesn't like it when patrons wear masks. So we pressed him a little bit on that. He admitted to being an anti-masker under the guise of civil liberties. I hope the audience was able to read into that enough, because he seems like a nice guy. I don't know if I would cut out for the cutthroat political stuff sometimes. How's it staying open? I don't know. He's been cited. He's been cited 3 times. The opposition is using that on their mailers against him. Is that he's been cited for COVID violations at both. He has 2 restaurants, one in Costa Mesa and one in Newport, and they've both been cited for COVID violations.
What are the name of these shitholes?
Well, the funny thing is I heard it's actually a good restaurant. I haven't been, but it's called The Ark. Well, his name's Noah, so it's called The Ark.
Where's The Ark?
It's spelled A-R-C, and I believe there's one in Newport and one in Costa Mesa.
Really?
No, The Ark, Newport Beach. If you type A-R-C.
And he won't let his employees wear masks.
Well, I had a friend that went in, and I guess he came up. They were wearing masks, and he kind of lectured them. And he was
and customers.
And customers. He asked them to take the masks off. And then my friend was like, it was weird. None of the servers were wearing masks. We were kind of like, what's going on? We kept ours on because let's call GoPause. We can call Yelp. Let's keep ours on. So because that's what you do. You keep it on maybe until you sit down. And I guess his whole thing is civil liberties. I don't want to be told what to do. But because I don't want to be told what to do, now I guess he's telling people what to do. It's that kind of weird hypocritical cycle.
I mean, the food looks good, the descriptions, but are you fucking kidding me? $22 for a pizza?
Welcome to Newport Beach, baby. That
60,
better be a
62, and it's a 20-ounce New York, so you're supposed to share it. But $62 for a New York steak? Come on, bro. And your restaurant's all dirty? Get out of here. Some restaurant named The Ark in Newport because CJ Cards fans who was asking who you're talking about, because last week the developing Chris Wallace of California, Alex Crawford, was moderating his own debate, his own city council debate of sorts.
Yeah, Newport Beach City Council election forum. And like I said, it went smooth. It was fun. Honestly, I don't know if it's just this election, because no, that's true. There's been assholes in the past, but this election in particular, everybody running seems like besides the weird anti-mask stuff from this one candidate, they seem like they care about the community. They actually want to run and they want to help, and they want to, even the anti-mask guy has some redeeming qualities. So the debate wasn't cutthroat. Like the debate was, oh, what up? Adam Hill's here. The debate
Sure.
was like, the debate was positive and funny, and we had jokes written. And with the low bar set by the presidential debate, it went off, without a hitch.
So you're just coming in, Adam. Last week, Alex worked a debate of sorts, and he said one of the guys, is he on the council or he's running for office?
He's running against the incumbent.
He's an anti-masker. He owns restaurants in Orange County, and he's an anti-masker to the point where he won't let his employees wear the mask, but he also lectures customers coming in. Like, take off the mask.
Yeah, like why? Like, you don't have. I don't know if it was like a take it off or like a, hey, you don't have to do that. You can wake up, sheeple. Like, you can take the mask off. Either way, it's kind of a bad look if you're owning a restaurant.
Well, the sad part is he'll probably win, right?
I don't know. It won't lose him as many votes as it would elsewhere. I'll say that, because he's packaging it in the civil liberties, freedom. He equated it to going to the playground. He's like, the playground should be open and I can take my kids there if I want, which I get. But then it's like, if it's masks in a restaurant, I think it's just different. I think it's different. It's Newport Beach City Council, by the way.
He's winning.
Was the forum. He has a man bun too.
He's definitely winning.
Brady, what do you? Yeah. Oh no, Brady, what are you seeing on Yelp? You're seeing trouncing? I haven't seen trouncing so far.
Playground shouldn't require pants. Yeah, so that was I think the only like nugget from the city council moderation that was worth bringing up. Everything else was like pretty positive and pretty local, pretty local centric. But the anti-mask thing stood out to me.
Oh, he's looking at the Costa Mesa spot. I'm looking at the Newport spot. Here's this lady with a little cleavage with the saggers. I like that. Nice job.
Okay.
Jib N. She said, "Great chicken nuggets." All right. Well, we'll look up the Costa Mesa spot.
$25.99 for those.
Exactly. $22 for the pizza, $62 for a steak.
What restaurant sells nuggets? Aren't they tenders?
I have to
fingers.
Let me look at the menu again. I got the menu. Let's see. Snacks, Scotty's nuggets, buttermilk, barbecue, honey mustard. Scotty's nuggets are $12.
Right. Do what you want. Do what you want on the mask thing. If you're a regular restaurant selling nuggets, fuck you.
Really do.
You know what? I love nuggets. I love nuggets and strips and tenders, like the whole gamut. I didn't realize this till I said it out loud, but his restaurant's called The Ark and his name is Noah. I hadn't connected the two, but like that is tacky.
How did you not connect the two?
I don't know, man. I actually don't know how I didn't connect. I don't know. I think because he spelled it A-R-C. Like, maybe I need to sharpen up before the next debate.
How else would you'd say A-R-K if you're going to go Ark?
I believe in the biblical sense it's A-R-K, yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to comprehend it. You're like, oh, you mean Noah from the Ark? And then you never really put that together?
I need to go to the restaurant. I think I need to go to the restaurant.
Okay. Do they sell everything in twos?
Yeah, pairs, one by one.
There's nothing better than Bible humor. That's what people come here for. Bible humor.
And that'll win voters in Newport Beach.
Yes.
That'll win voters. Cofield, I didn't even know. I forgot that. I didn't realize that you knew that I moderated the debate. But I'm glad we got to talk about that because that was funny.
I follow you on Twitter. I pay attention. I don't remember all that stuff. If I don't save it, then I don't remember. I see you hiking all the time. I'm jealous of your efforts at fitness.
Oh yeah, I've been hiking. I've been out there. I've been getting after it. It seems like it's hot where you guys are.
It's still hot. Yeah, it's still in the 90s.
Noah is probably a soaker.
Yeah. Goes back to our BYU conversation, which I saw. We'll have to hit some BYU stuff tomorrow night. Petro is getting crap from BYU fans because he votes in the whatever top 25 for college football, and he's like one of the guys who will actually answer people bitching at him. So some of the cultish Cougar fans were going after Seren from BYU.
By the way, Adam, I saw a photo of you circulating on Twitter like holding a football. Is that real? Like a kind of like a posed shot with you holding a football?
Sadly, yes.
That's
We
epic,
did
man. That really won you a lot of points in my book.
we did a photo shoot to promote our Raiders coverage, and that was some of the unfortunate results of said photo shoot. Which it makes me laugh every time because one of the people that was in the photo shoot left before the coverage really started, and so he's been like photoshopped out of all of them. And I send him every time it comes out with him photoshopped out. I send it to him, and I'm like, "Who's supposed to be here?"
I'm sure you guys have covered this on the late night happy hour, but I didn't get a chance to weigh in yet.
Good. Keep going.
Oh, it caught my eye the other day, and I was like, hot damn. Like, Adam, that's epic. I guess working in sports media, I've always wanted to be part of a shoot like that, where I got to hold a prop and maybe be on the side of a bus or at a bus stop. Like, that's kind of what I've always wanted.
Alex, that was on a billboard.
Yeah.
That was on a billboard?
Got his own billboard in town.
That's gold, man. That's goals for real.
I think it's such a stupid photo for this reason. Like, you're a big guy, right? Why the fuck are you holding a football? They honestly, you should have been. No, they should have done it up and put you in a football jersey, and you should have got a photograph with a tackling sled. Like, you're an offensive lineman.
Well, it's a small room where we did the shoot, by the way.
Give a shit. You guys have so much. You spend so much money at that paper. Get a tackling sled.
Also,
you're like freaking lifting up a sled and just turning like, yeah, motherfucker. I'll pancake your ass.
You've got to. Oh, I'm sending you the even better.
So ridiculous.
The even better.
Yeah,
photo.
or at least like in a pass block type of situation.
Brady said, Adam, only in a football jersey if it's a Zeke style jersey. Yeah, just that half.
Would be great.
That's awesome. Oh, will you stop with this? Come on. You and your brother Ryan, you're living in goddamn 1991. You're in 94. Come on. You guys are old. You're beat up. Just because you lost weight, you're beat up too. I saw Adam throw a football. He can't throw for shit.
Oh, much more of a baseball thrower. Because I will say I think the issue with the football, to be serious, is the small hands. I
know
it's tough. I
don't think you weren't on last week when we talked about Kazarian and his 50-yard thing, and I got all over Kazarian and you, and I'm like, you both have small hands. First of all, that's not the Duke. That's a college football. The one you're holding in this picture, that's not the real football. Like the NFL football is a monster.
I actually would have asked for like the 7-year-old if I was doing the shoot. Yeah. I would have asked for the smallest. I would want to make me look huge, like make me look like an NFL, make me look like Patrick Mahomes out there.
Yeah. But here's the thing on the Kazarian football throw, because we have a guy locally who lives here. He does ESPN. He does their gambling show, and he used to do local news or sports, Alex. And of course, he makes statements, and then as soon as he's challenged on it, he's like, well, that wasn't exactly what I was saying. He said he could throw a football 50 yards, and then, Adam, didn't he say just about anyone could who's like of decent athletic, decent athleticism?
So that's how it came up. He obviously never wanted this to be public.
Yeah.
I went and saw his, he'd moved into a new house the other day, and I went and saw the place, and he had a football, and we were talking, and he's like, he said something about like, yeah, I was at this party a couple weeks ago, and I told everybody, I was like, yeah, it's easy to throw a football 50 yards. And I was like, no, it's not. And he goes, yeah, that's what they said. And I was like, yeah, I agree with them. They're right. And he goes, do you understand how short 50 yards is? It's like, it's that thing out there. And he points to a car that's like 12 houses down. And I was like, yeah, I understand. That's a long, there's no way you could throw that. And he's like, I'm not talking about right now. I need a couple warm-ups. And I'm like, okay, take some warm-ups and go. And he was like, he's like, it's really easy. I'm not saying like, he's like, I'm not bragging about my arm. I'm saying anybody can do that. And I was like, no average person is just standing out there and throwing a football 50 yards. It's very difficult.
I find it almost refreshing when people like that, they still exist. Like I was with someone and we were filming something here in LA on the Bank of California soccer stadium, the MLS stadium. And we walked out and they were like, oh, it's always so much smaller, in real life. And I'm like, yeah, but they're like, oh, it's just, you always think the players are running so much further. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't. Like, I always think the players are like running pretty far in a soccer game. Like, yeah, in soccer.
Run for like 60 of the 90 minutes constantly. Okay.
I'm like, yeah, this field seems huge to me. Like,
yeah, they do it. They do the advanced stats after soccer games, and got like midfielders run like 9 miles. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. No, so it's like there's people out there that are still like throwing a football 50 yards is easy. Running the soccer field looks small. I could hit that shot. I could hit that shot. Put me in the game for one play. Those people, they still actually exist. It's like seeing a wild animal, At
least the I can hit that shot is a feasible thing. Like, I think we could stand out there and take shots and like check it out. Like throwing a football 50 yards is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous claim.
No,
it's such a dumb claim.
Especially from someone who was not really a ball athlete. Was he at all?
He was a water polo player.
Yeah, that's not a ball.
It's technically a ball.
Technically a ball, but closer to the board sports than the ball.
You know what? He must have a decent arm. I don't think he does now because he's put on like 100 pounds since college. But come on, dude. I like Doug, but almost everyone I talked to was like, "Whoa, what's going on with Doug?" Like, yeah, it's TV. He got chubby. That happens. I would love to see. I would let him throw a kid's football, and I'm not sure he can throw it.
That's different. That's way different.
All right.
When I was at 1080 The Fan radio up in Portland, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but we did a station combine. We did a deal with a sports medicine place, and we actually did most parts of the NFL combine. Some things were tailored, like the bench press was less. And all the talent and producers and everyone did it.
Bench press.
The bench press was, I think the bench press was like 135 or like 185 or something. It wasn't 180.
It wasn't 185. You'd remember if it was 185.
It wasn't 185. It wasn't 185.
Guys are like 37 reps. The weak guys, 16 reps at 225. Yeah, I'd get up 185 and break my neck. I wouldn't even think I would get it up. I'd have to like lift myself. There's no way.
No, I've been trying to hit 225, and it's heavy. It's heavy.
You think? And you actually sort of stay in shape. You're walking and moving. I got nothing here.
The walking and moving is not as conducive to the 225 bench press, though.
No, you're right. You're an endurance athlete, not a strength athlete.
Yeah, see, I'm not ball sports, endurance sports. There's different categories. In SoCal, we got a lot of board sports people, surf, skate.
Well, that doesn't really translate over, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Balance. Mental.
Sure. Wait, mental? Like a surfer? Mental?
Zened out. Very calm.
Right.
Calm.
I'll accept that. I'll take that.
Johnny Utah. If we're talking about a football crossover.
Sure. Did we determine that Noah is a surfer or not? Do we know?
I'm leaning towards, he seems, I'll tell you what I think he is. Noah from Noah's Ark restaurant in Newport Beach, Costa Mesa, California. Has a man bun, grew up in Newport Beach by the water. Seems like a guy that owns a really nice board, knows how to use it, takes it out once or twice a year, if that makes sense.
That's just a judgment that you're passing on him?
That is a judgment I'm passing. Okay. That's the vibe I get.
I asked. It's fair.
I don't know what the equivalent of that is for people further from the water, but that's definitely a type.
But you think he's got top of the line surfboard though, even though he doesn't use it often?
Yeah, people that spend a lot of money on gear but don't necessarily actually use or need the gear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know the types.
Sure, of course. You buy if you were someone that said, let's say, like bought a lot of Jordans but has never played basketball in like the last 30 years.
Yeah, but you have all the nice Jordans.
I may have been referencing somebody.
Oh, who's that? Is that Cofield?
No.
First
of all, I'm way too cheap. Way too cheap to buy Jordans. No, it's someone else on the show.
I can see that hat you're wearing.
Who was, by the way, exactly.
I'm Kathy Thomas.
Yes.
And joining me today will be the executive.
All right, hold on, Kathy. No, I got this. This was it was raining at Universal Studios, and I love these plain hats that just say cities on them. Obviously, you have to see all my Vegas hats, so this one's a little beat up. But this is the kind of the non-denominational LA hat. You don't know who I'm really rooting for. I'm just rooting for the area.
I love that. I love that.
It's a big night for LA with the Lakers and Dodgers, so you might as well wear the generic LA.
I think about it. Okay, can we just name? Can we just name the person? It's not JVT buying the Jordans. It's not Koken. Come on.
Rhymes with Trickindle.
Yeah, it's Pig Slack.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. ID time. Is this Noah? It looks like it. This is old too. This is 2013.
I love that you guys are diving into this.
In Costa Mesa?
That's not
Blanc.
Noah.
Noah's going to share the secrets of his scrumptious burger.
Wow, she's kind of hot.
She's really selling it.
Wait, hold
You're
on.
really hard up over there, huh?
Come on now.
He's a fan of the Gilf.
Oh,
Are you
Vegas is
not-
a spot for that?
Are you not intrigued? Kathy Thomas, ready? Watch how happy she is. Her delivery on how good the burger is.
In Costa Mesa? Noah Blum. And Noah's going to share the secrets of his scrumptious burgers.
Oh, the breath at the scrumptious.
I love local journalism. Shout out Adam Hill.
Thanks. They're on the billboard.
All right, there he is,
That's
the
him.
anti-mask.
Yep. That's him. That's him.
Yep.
That's the vibe.
And he's running for office.
He's running for city council. Yeah.
By the way, when they typed up the graphic here, why use the 0 on the co and then an O with the owner? Anyone else notice that? I mean, I'm no editor, but
Alex, who's his co-owner?
That's a good question.
What
didn't know he
do
had
they
one.
feel about the masks?
Man, I don't know. And the anti-mask thing, it'd be one thing if I heard the rumor. I heard, hey, this guy's not into masks and he's running for city council. Then I saw the mailer from his opponent. One of the things is that he hasn't paid some child support that he owes. But another one,
Hold on.
It's getting dirty.
Look at him.
Dirty.
I assumed watching this that he hadn't paid child support.
Cofield, you would have loved this. The night before, I don't know why I said you would have loved this, but the night before the candidate forum, his opponent's team was emailing us lists of, hey, by the way, here's a copy of the bench warrant for when he didn't pay child support. Hey, by the way, here's a copy of the OC health report on him. Hey, you guys should bring this up in the thing. It's like, well, I don't know how I'm going to work in the child support thing organically because we kind of had preset questions and it was supposed to be kind of a fun event.
Sure.
But the mask thing got brought up.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Here's your kid. He's not eating. React now, Noah. Starving bastard.
Your kid would be willing to put on a mask and eat if he could just have money to afford food, bro. Like that's a good question.
See, now I
Kathy.
feel bad. Oh, you like Kathy's Kitchen?
Look at those rolls on the right. Man, those are some big burger rolls.
To be honest, guys, I feel like I
Nevada?
need to go to Noah's Ark and try the food, and I guess like put myself at risk for COVID, but try the food.
All right, let's see what this burger. Let's
You
first of all, I
think
want to
way
hear 'em.
outside the box when it comes to your burgers. Tell me about them.
We like to break down whole animals.
All right, I'm out. That's how he speaks?
That's real, yeah.
Wow, not impressive. But I do like that he breaks down the whole animal. So let's keep going. Sorry, I was quick to judge there.
And in breaking down those whole animals, we find some really
All
great.
right, first of all, in the non-COVID era, this is still too close to
Yeah.
talking to each other. In the COVID era, this scares the fuck out of me.
Also, why is Russell Brand running for fucking city council or whatever?
Dude, it's a character. It's a full character.
I will look up the price of the burger in a second. I didn't look at the burgers. Let's see.
Great parts that are best utilized, hand chopped or hand ground.
Whoa! What the?
Show me.
So here we have a little piece of short rib. We're going to go ahead and just start hand chopping it as nice, thin we can. So we're looking for a nice even cut against the grain to kind of pull us up. Once we do that, we're going to turn it and chop it the other way.
Okay, what's next?
Next up, we're going to add in. We're done.
Settle down. He's trying to fucking show you what he's doing. Relax.
I gotta move ahead. I can't take this.
Come on, Kathy.
Watch him cook.
The outside of my bowl and never the ingredient which I want to dress.
Where's the air fryer?
Along the outside of the bowl.
Right? Where's this final part?
And some chopped garlic.
Come on, show me the burger.
And that was in salted water. Salt.
I wonder
Yeah,
if he's
she's-
using meat-up meat.
At this point, a combination
I hope
of
only the best.
salt.
Seen that, aren't you?
The goal is to not move it too much.
Right.
You want to keep it really light and loose. For the home cook, this is a really important stage to add a little bit of seasoning into it and cook off a teeny little piece. Because if you're making burgers for the family, it's important to make sure they're seasoned correctly
Right.
prior to putting them on the
Right.
grill. I use a combination salt when I do it. A combination of malt.
I'm bored. I'm not buying this guy.
Guys, you know what I'm going to do before our next happy hour? So in the next 7 days, I'm going to go to Noah's Ark, and I'm going to report back next week.
We do need that.
It appears at the Ark the burger is not on there, so maybe I need to look at the Costa Mesa location.
Maybe I need to hit up Noah.
Oh no. Butcher's Burger, $16.
Not terrible.
I'll try it. I'll try
Kind
it.
of lazy on the menu. It's listed Butcher's Burger, cheddar, and then accoutrements.
Hey, I'd like to know what those are.
It's a nice description.
So
Mark
yeah,
would
that guy's,
Mark would like to mash up Noah's video with that deer sound as he's chopping.
I don't have my laptop with me. That
We could
sucks.
work on that down the road. All right. Well,
It's actually a great idea.
as Brady says, I think Babygate kind of ruined this whole video for me. So if he's not supporting his kids,
also there was an actual baby gate in the background of the host's house. I think is also what they're referring to. It's a double baby gate.
okay. All right. Oh, there actually was a baby. Hold on.
There was a baby gate in the background.
Well, I mean, clearly that's got to be your grandkids, right?
I don't know, Cofield.
Sounds about right.
You wish.
All right, 1 to 10, appetizing or not? I found the still shot of the burger itself.
I bet it's gonna look pretty good.
Can you
I-
show
I-
him mashing up that burger again?
That doesn't look great, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it would taste good for some reason.
I mean, it's
I'm not voting for Noah, but I think I do want to support his restaurant and give it a shot. As a local journalist covering Newport Beach politics, I feel
You're not
like
supposed to
that's
say
my
whether
duty.
you're voting. You're not supposed to say whether you're voting for him or not.
I'm
You're
undecided.
moderating.
I
You're
meant to say
moderating.
I'm undecided. Well, I've moderated. I've moderated and I've made up my mind.
Okay.
get the wide shot. I mean, someone's saying there's a baby gate. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Baby
Sure, that's
gate.
not a dog. That's not for a dog.
Could be a doggy gate.
She ain't getting it in. Come on. I mean, she would get it in from most of you guys on this. Come on. But
Last
she's-
thing I'll say about Noah
Huh?
is his non-election Instagram, like his non-candidate Instagram account, I believe is at Dirty Sexy Happiness. So
Stop.
pretty edgy for a city council candidate, guys.
Okay, hold on.
Is that
We have the
deal?
sound. We have the sound effect now. Let me get the chopping meat. Okay, we'll cue it up.
Ground and put into a burger meat.
Show me.
So here we have a little piece of short rib. And we're going to go ahead and just start hand chopping it as nice, thin we can. So we're looking for a nice even cut against the grain to kind of pull us up. We do that, chop it the other way.
Okay, what's next?
Next up, we're going to add in the liver. When I get a big chunk of beautiful pork belly and we cure it out, what we're going to do is we're going to take off those little end pieces. We're going to cut them into perfect little squares,
Oh, boy.
and we're going to let them cook down briefly in their own fat. So with caramelized onions, I always like to cut my onions in nice lengths. We're going to need a little hand chop.
You're just kind of gently tossing that, aren't you?
The goal is to not move it too much.
Right.
You want to keep it really.
I don't know why that makes any sense, but it kind of does.
Well, as he's mashing the burger.
What is the origins of the deer sound effect?
We can't. I can't do it.
Okay.
You can show the video. Show the video. He should be in on this.
Don't show the visual.
He should be in on this. He's part of the show.
Loose. For the home cook,
I hate
is a
this
really
video now. It's just too
There's gonna be
much.
so many people leaving this. Fucking...
All right. All right.
There's nothing funny about it.
It's just such domination. This is this is Adesanya Paulo Costo from
Yeah, it
last-
is.
It really is. This is an MMA fight gone bad. Yeah, John's like, let him in. All right. It's not good. A deer gets I'm just gonna warn you, the deer is not doing well. The bear's dominating, and then eventually you just hear the bones all cracking.
I think the deer's okay.
How do we do this?
I like to think the deer gets through this unscathed.
The deer's not getting through shit. It's
Nature finds a way.
Here we go.
I do like it that it's in somebody's backyard.
I see what's going on.
I like
That's brutal. That's brutal. That's
I'm
brutal.
right.
I like that
Such a-
it's,
You're such a
scream.
bastard that you like it. It's just there's
I
something
don't
wrong.
think the deer gets away.
I do.
I love
That's the only way I can actually appreciate this
I don't know.
movie,
The
actually.
title of the video is "Bear Kills Deer," so I don't know if the deer
in
gets away.
residential neighborhood.
Oh, thank you.
That softens it.
It does.
I appreciate
I like
that
how
setting.
human. I like how human the deer scream is, though. I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's,
By the way,
what,
we're gonna get banned on Twitch again. This is what got us banned in the first place, probably.
I don't think so.
Even though essentially
You were showing porn clips.
there was not porn clips.
I remember this.
They were cropped pictures with no nudity. Now I will defend all of us against Twitch. This is nature, Twitch. This
Yeah.
is nature.
No different than Shark Week.
Yeah, he's in
I
trouble.
do like to. I do
He's-
like to think that the deer's okay.
Mhm.
Jesus.
I do like the sounder, and the fact that I don't have it as a drop is kind of.
But by the way, if there's a bear attacking a deer in your backyard, move. That's the easiest solution. You just got to
kinda
get
just
out of there.
Let that one go.
Yeah, I think you move. You can't be experiencing these sorts of things in your neighborhood. Get out. It's got to be like Alaska or something, right?
No. Where I grew up, I don't think the bears have started walking the neighborhoods, but there are way too many deer. I think Alex is legitimately like, I am not doing the show anymore. He's fucked up.
No. I'm glad I know the origins. I don't seek out that content, but I would like to see that in real life.
Is that why you go on hikes?
I'm looking for. I saw a coyote 3 weeks ago, so we're trending that way. I saw
Was
a
it
baby
doing-
rattlesnake.
Oh,
I saw a baby rattlesnake.
did you find a
is
new
it-
place to start walking?
It was different trails, Adam. Different trails.
Oh,
You could barely see the urine. It's so ridiculous with this pee funnel. I still stand by my editorial choice.
I mean, we do know that that's why the banning happened, though.
Twitch is come on, Twitch. You got video games. You got young kids.
I'm surprised that one got.
We don't know what's going on. There's fingering. Who knows what's happening?
wait, what?
What I've heard. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of.
on Twitch.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
think
different
if you-
Twitch.
I think if you type in someone do some research for someone, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to get banned. Just put like Reddit Twitch nude and something will come up. There's little pigs.
Okay.
There's little pigs showing their boobs and stuff.
I'm good on that.
I don't think you know that.
That's a guess.
I think you're just making things up right now.
There's dirty stuff. There's little filthy stuff on all these little video providers.
How do you know?
Not the happy hour though. Not the happy hour. We're clean. We show nature, whether it's a pea funnel or a bear. Getting it on with a
We keep it real.
beer. All right, let's get to some of the post game stories, and then I want to get
Yes.
to the Raiders and how much they're crushing the virus and how they've done a great job with COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start?
Lakers is what I consumed the most of.
Do it.
Lakers Heat game.
Let's do it.
What is that?
Oh, someone was breathing heavy.
Oh, okay. Thought it was more
Whatever.
sound effects from. I mean, the Lakers, they're gonna win the title. Like tonight.
Of course.
Tonight was
It's
just a formality. It's over. What did you say?
Said, why are you sad? What's wrong with you?
I mean, it's hard for me because I'm a Laker hater. Like it's hard for me to remove my bias from this conversation because of the narratives that we're going to see about the Lakers. And I kind of, I get it from Laker Nation, but I don't like seeing the media running ads with the win it for Kobe, win it for the Mamba. It's just, I think it's kind of gross. All of the kind of hype that's being generated about Kobe and the edits you see of like Kobe's ghost watching. You've seen like maybe some of those on Twitter of like Kobe's ghost there at the game and him in the shadows and all the content around it. Oh, here, yeah, left coast Mike. I know.
There's the ghost.
I don't know. I don't like the Kobe I don't like the dead Kobe propaganda.
Okay. All
And
right.
I'm a Laker hater, so I can't separate it.
It is very exploitative. It's getting pretty obnoxious. But I think we also knew this was going to happen. Like when Kobe died and the Lakers were already the favorites to win, we kind of knew it was going to get to this point. I just don't think it's right. I think they're, like I said, exploiting his death to tie it into whatever's happening now. It just, I'm not comfortable with that.
Sorry, the jokes are coming in. You guys missed an epic episode last night with Allie. Like, she came up with a conspiracy for every football game that was played, like the last 5 years.
Oh boy, wonderful.
So it was very heavy on conspiracy theories, and I think we all love conspiracy theories. But yeah, Allie apparently is working on one that Kobe's still alive and will present the trophy to LeBron when they win. So
Doubtful.
probably not fair to put that on her, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Doubtful. I didn't like it. It makes sense now because I do understand it from a folklore perspective, like the legend of Kobe, larger than life. Like, of course, fans are going to lean into that. Of course, people in LA are been wearing Kobe Mamba gear all year long. But I didn't like it, especially heading into the playoffs when it was like, hey, we're going to win this for Kobe. Hey, we're going to win this one for Mamba. And I'm not even talking about like LeBron and them saying it. I'm talking about like the fans. I'm talking about like everybody except for Vanessa Bryant bringing up Kobe's name. But at the end of the day, it's hard for me not to sound like a bitter Clipper fan who's just finding something to poke at with the Lakers and finding a reason to be upset. It's just, I don't know. I mean, the Lakers played who was in front of them, and they're going to win the title. Like, they had an easy path, probably the easiest path of all time, but the other team screwed up. The Bucks are the ones that blew their series, and the Clippers are the ones that blew their series. So what are the Lakers supposed to do?
Yeah, I thought of this tonight too. As when AD hit the three with about 40 seconds left at the end of the shot clock, Jim is saying, "Imagine what it would have been like at Staples rather than Florida." Yeah, I mean that's the one thing. It hit me for the first time tonight, where it was like, how awesome this would be. As the team's going to the title, and LeBron secures a Game 3 win because of AD, and LeBron, really got aggressive down the stretch, and the team played pretty good defense. And KCP, I thought, was awesome, and Rondo made a couple of big plays. And you don't get any of the massive, the adulation of that massive crowd.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It does suck across the board. I mean, I'm in LA right now. It would be so dope if there was a Dodger. I mean, also, I guess with COVID, they wouldn't be playing at the same time.
Right,
but,
exactly.
but so never mind. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna stop. But if there were somehow games at the same time, it would be insane. I mean, it would be so cool.
The good news is, if you want some normalcy and you want to celebrate like it's not COVID time, just go to Noah's. Can live it
Take
up.
the mask off and just.
They were all watching Maskless tonight in Newport.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Hugging and applauding. No, I mean, I'm trying my best not to sound bitter. And it's really hard. I mean, it's really hard to remove my biases as like a diehard Clippers fan who's just let down by the team like time and time again. You know what I mean? So I wanted to see that series against Clippers-Lakers. I didn't get to see it. And now I'm watching the Lakers steamroll their way through the Heat. And yeah, the Heat gave me a little glimmer of hope after Game 3, but we knew they were overmatched this whole time. They were hanging tough tonight. They're doing everything they can. this is going to sound bitter, and so whatever. It's going to sound like sour grapes. But I just have a hard time seeing the Lakers be the best team in the NBA. I just feel like, I don't know, the way AD wasn't attacking tonight and just hanging out beyond the three-point line, and the way the Lakers were just not playing aggressive, it just was frustrating to me. Because I'm like, well, someone should be able to beat them if AD's not attacking. Like, someone should be able to body AD and score down low, because we know he doesn't always love going down to the paint. But the Heat still couldn't do it. They didn't have the personnel to do it. And so it's just frustrating because I'm like, someone should beat the Lakers because of the way AD does that.
Yeah, to your easy path argument, they get to Miami, who's playing, great basketball, and then they get 3 injuries. I mean, 2 guys are out, and Butler, even though he's been playing great, is still playing through an injury. So it just continued that easy path narrative that the team that actually did fight their way and make it through to the finals then didn't have all their players.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I hate when people bring up Golden State had those injuries last year, and so Toronto's path was actually pretty easy because every year has its thing. It
right,
was,
that's just facts, though.
Right,
so
was Golden State's. They never had to face the full complement of the Cavs team,
and they never had an injury. They never had an injury during their. I mean, they had minor injuries, but they were pretty much unscathed during their dynasty run.
Well, to me, the dream scenario is coming up because, and someone was asking, I want to get your reaction on, because you weren't here last week when Doc Rivers got fired, but next year is going to set up nicely because you're going to have a healthy Warriors team. Maybe they get some reinforcements instead of the crap they line their roster with so they can make sure that they got a top pick. I don't know what you guys think. I assume LeBron's going to look around. If he wins this title, he's going to look around in the days after and he's like, I'm blowing out half this team. I don't even know how we won with this. Like I thanks AD, and LeBron carried him. So I think he's going to have turnover. And then the Clippers they're going to be better prepped for the playoffs. And if that means, getting rid of PG-13 and adding, multiple players or getting rid of, I don't know who the troublemakers are, but next year in the West is going to be friggin' epic. Well, by the way, next year, 3 months from now, is going to be epic as they start again.
And just to your point, Cofield, I think you articulated kind of what I was thinking, which is just I look at the Lakers roster, and I watched a lot of their games this season. I watched almost every single Clippers game and most Lakers games. And I look at that roster, and I'm like, these guys shouldn't be hoisting up the Larry O'Brien trophy in a couple days, the way this roster's assembled. But they are, and they beat everyone, and they were great throughout the regular season. So it doesn't compute. I guess, you know what? I mean, LeBron's that good. AD's really damn good. But it is like you look at that roster and you're like, how are these guys there? They're going to blow it out. They're going to change things up. And to answer your question, the West is going to be incredible. It's going to be a bloodbath, and I think it's going to be great.
I also think once I don't know what LeBron has in terms of flexibility next year, but once LeBron can be flexible with his salary, I think he's going to work for nothing just to keep trying to line the team like as a super team. He'd be stupid not to. He's making so much money off the court. Like, build your legacy and try to get, imagine the guy winning like 2 or 3 more titles before he's 40, which is, it's tough. But what if they're able to add another superstar because he's like, you know what, I'll make, a third or a quarter of what I could make.
I think that's a good point. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't do that. And that's what
KCP was good tonight. Rondo was key. And, Adam and I have ripped Rondo in the past, but he had some big plays tonight. And the other thing is, since some of the better players are injured for the Heat, the fact that Duncan Robinson has to play in key minutes, he's so bad defensively because he's the one who got destroyed by KCP on the drive. And Rondo and Bam had some miscommunication, and that's why Rondo was able to drive left, make a righty layup, and that was one of the big keys. But, yeah, Duncan Robinson's not really an NBA defender right now.
No, and then they try to play zone, and it just, I think teams have figured it out. The Celtics figured it out about midway through the series. And the Lakers were just like, we just took that same blueprint. So all you can do is play zone with Robinson and some of the other guys on that roster. Like there's definitely guys that are horrific defensively, and they're trying to cover them, but they can't.
This is a great point, and Brady's using our line about the director of fun, like Tom Brady did, where Tom Brady took like $12 million less than he could have. What would the league do if LeBron's like, I'm going to take $5 million a year, and the league's like, he's doing something. He's fuck you, man. He's $5 million a year. Unselfish. This is what you want, right?
They busted the Nets for doing that, though, didn't they? I
think they caught Kirilenko and the Russian weren't smart enough to keep it under wraps,
right?
So they were like, I'll pay you in freaking rubles and property and wherever, Siberia, and lots of Russian hookers. He got caught, so they'll be smart enough not to get caught.
Yeah.
What if AD doesn't want back?
He'll want back.
He'll want back, man. AD's found his place. AD's perfect as the number 2. AD was never to take over the team, take over the league guy.
Well,
He's
he's
a
got to-
great number
He's
two.
going to have to be the number one eventually with LeBron. Like I said, though, I think they're going to get more help. You didn't answer what. So, what do you think about Doc Rivers going bye-bye?
I mean, I'm bittersweet because I loved Doc. I love Doc the individual. I love Doc as the league's de facto civil rights leader. I love Doc. He just seemed like he was the perfect guy for the Clippers to weather that transition from Donald Sterling to Steve Ballmer. He was the best coach the Clippers ever had. At the same time, it made sense. He was the common denominator from the Lob City era, from that 3-1 lead being blown against Houston in 2015 to the 3-1 lead being blown in 2020. He was the common denominator. So what you need to change something. Like something's not working. So it was kind of I shouldn't say a career achievement award, but sort of it wasn't just for this year. It was for just not being able to get over the hump all those times. So I'm cool with it. I'm very curious to see who they get next, but I think it was the right move. I really think it was the right move.
The AD's not going anywhere. It's not gonna
No.
I'm actually on the NBA trade machine right now.
happen.
Trying to trade AD to my Warriors.
Right. You should go in the trade machine and try to find someone ridiculous like another top 10 player and put together all the shitty Lakers with their salaries and see if it works.
Do that.
Of course, that's assuming LeBron goes from whatever he's making, 35 mil a year to like 11, which
See what we can get.
would be so awesome.
Yeah,
It would be
see what we
great
can
to
get for, like Taylor Horton Tucker.
I don't think, as Left Coast Mike points out, it wasn't Paul George's fault for the Clippers' collapse. Paul George had a bad 3-game stretch. He actually played very good in that second round series. I don't think it was one person's fault. All these things are nuanced and complex, but I think if you had to point the finger, you had to make a change. Something had to happen. And if it's Doc gone, I guess I have trust in the Clippers front office. Ballmer's a guy that took over and wants to win. He's willing to throw money at things. He's willing to do what it takes. So, I mean, if I want to blame someone, I blame Kawhi Leonard for hamstringing the Clippers, trading all their picks to get PG, and now having no future, having no SGA. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That frustrates me, but you had to get Kawhi, so what are you going to do?
Notice when I mentioned how awesome it's going to be when the season starts and the run for the championship next year, I was just mentioning teams in the West. Is anyone real fired up about the Nets after what Kyrie was saying last week? That got me stoked.
No.
That got me stoked. We don't have a coach. It's a collaborative effort. And then the other one, how long before he starts fighting with KD? When he's like, KD's the first guy. He's the first motherfucker I look at. And I know he can I can defer. He's going to make the big shot. All right, dude. Come on. Let's grow up.
I mean, Kyrie's a clown at this point, right? Like, he just says stuff, and maybe some people still eat it up, but guys got to do something without it being on LeBron's team.
Yeah. And then he tries to turn on everyone like, dude, just peace, man. Peace.
It's a
false narrative. Like, yes, you said what you said. It's not a false narrative. You're not smarter than the rest of us. You're not some, existential thinker that we can't reach your level, bruh. We're 6 months removed from you saying the earth was flat. So cut it out. Think before you speak.
Everyone's either smoked weed with or lived in the dorms with a guy like Kyrie. It's just everyone knows a guy like that. And it's just eventually get sick of their shtick, but it's kind of cool when you're like 18 or 19. You're like, oh, this guy's a deep thinker. And then you're like mid to late 20s and you're like, oh, we don't hang out with that guy anymore. That's Kyrie.
Do we care about the Yankees or the Dodgers?
I was watching the Dodgers game. It was not fun.
Trade machine.
What about Draymond Green, Eric Pascal, the number 2 pick for AD?
No, bro.
I don't even understand what you're doing.
I'm trying to get Anthony Davis to my Warriors.
No, go rob a poor team or an owner that doesn't want to compete.
But I want AD.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, we're getting Giannis too, so
I love the inclusion of Dr. Dre in any one of these deals. The rest of the league must be like, what? How much does he make?
Well, you can save money on a medical staff.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay team doctors or trainers because he can take care of that. the doctor of kinesiology, Draymond.
Kill with the your Warriors since when?
I cheer for the underdog. They were awful this year. I was living in the Bay Area. I went to a couple games, and I became a fan of the Warriors. If they improve next year, that'll be awesome. But I like where we were doing this year. I liked where we were headed.
You're a wee guy with the Warriors?
Only the Warriors. Yeah, that's my only team.
Really?
Yeah.
For
I
how
only
long?
became a fan this year.
Yeah.
I went to a couple games. I was living in the Bay Area a lot of the year. I went to a few games.
Oh, because you're
And,
covering Oakland. You're covering
yeah.
the Raiders.
Yeah, I went to a few games at the Chase Center. It's a great arena. And I was like, okay, I'm in. I like this team. I like the direction they're headed. And people were saying like next year they're going to be a lot better, but I just like the scrappiness that we showed.
So you're a new Warriors fan in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was
Should we
fun.
talk
I like
about what?
the Ted Cruz. It's great.
Oh yeah. Should we talk about the sitting U.S. senator tweeting "keep politics out of sports" when he's a politician tweeting about sports? You want to talk about that?
And if you're going to use the hashtag, fuck you, Ted Cruz. Use it correctly, you dumbass. It's get woke, go broke. Not go woke. Get woke, go broke, putz. With your basketball ring.
I was thinking
Yeah, exactly.
of all the U.S. senators to watch hoops with, Ted Cruz is low on my list. Like, he's got to be one of the worst.
Oh, there's a lot of really bad ones.
Admittedly, I don't know a lot of them from, most states, but
I mean, I think like Martha McSally is the bottom of the list.
That's it. That's all Rockin' Ted gets from us. So
I'm down to talk about this if you guys want to. The ratings thing, have you guys talked about that on your show? Probably.
We've talked about it. No, we've talked about it. Go ahead. Give me your take.
No, I just think it's I shouldn't say it's funny. It's just so obvious. I mean, people trying to slap a one size fits all solution onto a complex problem. Oh, it's because the athletes kneel. No one's watching the NBA. Well, then you look at the ratings for all these other sports: Stanley Cup, horse racing, golf, tennis. I mean, they're down across the board, and there's, I think, a complexity of reasons. I know people that aren't watching sports. They've told me, I haven't watched any sports this year. I haven't watched any sports since they came back because of the political thing. I mean, that's its own idiotic take because they're just missing out.
And how would they even know? Like, you don't notice it during the game. So how would they know if they haven't watched it?
Exactly. No, I was talking to a guy on Friday, and he's like, yeah, I just can't do it, man. I just can't, sports were my escape. Mind you, this is a guy in a Hawaiian shirt in Newport Beach, California. Sports are my escape, man. I just can't do it anymore. But then to your point, Adam, like, what was it? The Black Lives Matter and size 12 font at the back of the NFL end zone? Did that really get to you? Like, what was it? Was it the thing on the back of the NBA jersey was just bugging you? The anti-racist statement was bothering you? It's just, but I'm just saying, I think there are people that maybe aren't watching because of the politics thing. There's definitely a subset of the population. I think they're idiots, but that's fine. But it's obviously a more complex issue than that. People are streaming, illegally streaming.
Yeah, chief among them is the amount of people that illegally watch games, and there's no way to track it.
Game. Exactly. That's how I watched the Dodger and Laker game tonight on my laptop. I'll stream, crack streams or whatever, buff streams.
I may have been watching NFL games from an NFL press box. Probably shouldn't say that. Like that's how people watch a lot of things now. I have it at home, but I'm not at home, so I got to figure out how to watch things. And I think that's how everybody does it now.
And I think on top of that too, so I'm 29, gonna be 30 soonish, and I think people my era and younger are cord cutters to the extreme. So a lot of them are streaming. I think a lot of people aren't even streaming. I think they're only catching clips on their phone. I think they're only catching a Twitter clip and then a recap and then kind of talk. They're consuming the game in bite-sized pieces. That's part of the generation and the era. And I think it's also a factor of the networks and a factor of the leagues for not necessarily always promoting their product well or packaging it in an exciting way or throwing talking heads like Paul Pierce on the TV instead of giving us someone who can maybe garner some insight into the game being played and make us appreciate it more. But my brother's 21, and I know him and his friends follow the NBA and they follow the NFL, but I know they don't watch games, whether it's a stream, whether it's Red Zone on Sundays. We had cable at my house in college. We all split in so we could watch NFL Red Zone on Sundays in college football. I don't think the younger kids are doing that anymore at all.
Yeah, here's Mark Cuban going back at him like, good for you, dude. Rooting against businesses in your own state, to do well. And it's, I don't know, the list of dudes and women serving office, public servants who troll daily on social media is one of the more embarrassing things about this era. Like developing this character, like just do your fucking job. That's why I'm telling you, first of all, everyone needs to vote. And I know a lot of people are just going to vote along party lines, but you really need to examine incumbents and if they're worth anything. And frankly, any time you have a chance to vote someone out and get someone in there new, as long as the next person's not horrific, it should be one of the number one rules of people. Did I drop out?
Don't vote Noah.
No, don't vote Noah. You're saying vote for the new blood, and I'm like, well, there is one incumbent you might want to vote for in the Newport Beach election. But I'm with you. No, I'm with you, Cofield. It is embarrassing the way public elections.
This career politician shit is nonsense. Just vote them out. Fuck them.
Well, the other thing about it too, I think, is the celebrity worship of politicians on both sides. Yep. Whether it's, I mean, you're viewing, like, if we want to go full politics here, people talking about Donald Trump is our savior, or AOC is our savior, Bernie is a god. Oh, I miss the Obamas, I miss, everyone wants to not politicize, but celebritize politicians on both sides of the aisle. They work for us. They're public servants. They have a job to do. If they're good at it, that's great. Like, how low is the bar,
It's ridiculous at this point. Adam, so breaking news in town. What's going on with the Raiders? So how many people? Well, first of all, Hurst has it, right? He's got COVID.
Mo Hurst did test positive. Confirm that.
Something we did not address today because it didn't even register with me. So Maurice Hurst has COVID. We know what happened with the Raiders last week, where you've got Raiders at this charity gala not wearing a mask. The NFL slammed them. Now we've got the first positive test for the Raiders. And of all guys to test positive, it's a guy who's had issues with his heart previously, right?
Yeah, that's the reason he dropped in the draft. It's because he has heart issues. So trust me, it's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, well, like anyone who's like, if he gets through it in a week, right? Whatever, 10 days. Oh, it's fine, no big deal. The dude has existing heart issues. If he got it because these dumbasses were not wearing masks and someone at the gala had it, if I'm Mo Hurst, frankly, if I'm a lot of the guys on the Raiders, I'm like, this is fucking embarrassing. I'm so mad at some of the other guys on the team, and especially some of the leaders.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, again, I think, and we've talked about this with Justin a lot, like, it's really hard to trace where it comes from. And it's really hard to find fault or to point fingers at somebody. But you also have to understand, when you do put yourself in those types of situations, if something happens to somebody, you're going to be the first person blamed, whether it was your fault or not. Like, you just are. And so, that's what you've chosen to do. And now you've got a positive case and a lot of questions about whether they can even play on Sunday. Yep. Like, swirling, because we don't know why, but you did just have an issue, not only with, going to this function. The Raiders have been the worst team in the league at dealing with this. As much as they've talked about it, Gruden was fined. The organization was fined for not wearing the mask. They had an unauthorized person in the locker room, which they were also fined for. They had the maskless COVID fundraiser, whatever, COVID era fundraiser, which you obviously can't do. And now you have a player test positive. And Tennessee had an outbreak, but I would argue that the Raiders have been worse.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to ask you, are the Raiders for sure the worst? Are they fucking up as bad as it seems? Or are they just garnering extra attention because they're the Raiders, because they're that brand? Gruden, people like to talk about the Raiders, or are they really fucking it up the most?
I mean, I think we haven't seen anything like that fundraiser gala, right? I mean, no other team, not that I've seen, no other team has had an issue like that happen. That's bad. And then I didn't see any other teams. I don't know. Maybe I'm just following it more closely, but I haven't seen any other teams fined for having unauthorized people in their locker room. Like they're the only ones that I've seen that have broken protocol in that way.
Yep.
So, whether it's our perception, whether we're just looking at them harder, whether it's reputation, all those things, I don't know. But like these things just keep happening to the Raiders. And yeah, I guess it's our fault for being there and shooting it and having pictures and video of it.
Someone would have got it. Someone else would have got it.
Of course.
And it would have been leaked to the two jabronis, the guy and the chick who run their Vegas site. So
True.
They would have got it out there.
Yeah, not wearing masks at a charity gala and then going back with the team. I mean, we're already seeing it. We're already seeing it with the Patriots, with the Titans, with the NFL not being in a bubble. I know there was a report from Pro Football Talk earlier in the weekend that owners were considering going to hotels for the last 8 or 9 games of the season and doing their own bubbles. So, don't go out in public without a mask on. Don't bring that into the league. It's a bad look, regardless of what happens or if Hurst got it from one of his teammates. It's just the optics are so bad.
That's the rumor, by the way. Nobody knows for sure.
Yeah, that LV locally could be a woman, and we know the dude who's obviously has been very public, the guy Scott, with Vital Vegas. Here's the other thing is, the Raiders do this, as the Titans are going on this, crazy outbreak of 20 positive tests. Think about if you're in the Bills position right now. So you played the Raiders. They're playing loose with COVID. Hurst was out there for 35 plays. So the Bills are now worried about if they got something from the Raiders, and then they also don't even know if they're playing this coming week. And they are looking ahead to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs don't know if they're playing. So the Raiders have now made this into this freaking cornucopia of chaos, trademarking that, right? Where the NFL's like, fuck, we got 6 teams intertwined here. And these guys are going to charity. These guys are going to charity galas and throwing footballs out to the crowd.
I also feel like there's a chance the Bills are just going to get a win.
How about that, Alex? There is the thought that from here forward, if you have serious violations, and in the case of the Raiders, they've piled up. What is the total, Adam? Is it $565,000 in fines? Did every guy there get $15,000, and then Waller got 30?
Right.
They may make teams that are really irresponsible just forfeit games.
I saw that, and I wasn't sure if they had announced or if there was a report on what the threshold for the forfeit was.
No, they just want to have it as an option.
Yep.
That's gnarly. That's
but
crazy.
It's basically the Titans got lucky in that it was a very easy reschedule. They had to move 2 games, and that's it. They rescheduled the game. What they're saying is, hey, if you're in a situation like this again, and there's not an easy fix, and the Titans are not going to be an easy fix going forward, if they can't play the Bills this Sunday, they're either going to have to push the playoffs back a week or take a forfeit. Like, it's not an easy fix anymore. They already had their bye.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm looking at the schedule right now, and it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. So I think there's a possibility that the Titans will have to forfeit that game.
This coming Sunday against the Bills?
Yeah, and the Bills moved to 5-0 with a 2-0 victory because that is the official score in a forfeit.
So what triggers that? Is that if as they get closer to game time, they still have too many positive tests, and they're like, okay, we can't move it, we can't restructure the schedule that much, we can't move the playoffs, we've got TV deals in place?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're over 10 players, so can they move around some practice squad guys and figure it out and take the field? Yeah, probably if they don't have any further spread. But that's kind of asking a lot.
What did you guys think of that report? I'm sure you saw it from Pro Football Talk. Maybe it was from some other places too earlier in the weekend about owners considering putting pause on the season and trying to do some kind of a bubble.
Well, that was on the heels of the Saints having a positive test when they landed in Detroit on Sunday.
That's right.
And everybody was freaking out, like, how are they going to do this? And once they were able to get determined it was a false positive and just go forward and play, I think that died down a little bit. But I think that possibility was floated when they started to say, okay, if we're canceling 3 games this weekend, if we have to cancel the Saints game, if we have to cancel the Patriots and Chiefs game, which they didn't have to cancel in the end, and the Titans game, like we have to figure something out here. And they were going to try to figure out how to do a bubble going forward. But change it to 12-game season, play in a bubble. They were going to do all those things. But once they were to play that game, I think they backed off a little bit. But I think all options are still on the table.
Yeah, I think they have to be, because I still feel like, and I'm not in the thick of it like you are, covering it day to day, but it does still seem to me like the NFL has an air of not fully having their shit together and not fully knowing exactly what to do. Like if the Titans have to forfeit this weekend, that's, I mean, not to overuse the word unprecedented, but it's unprecedented. Like what the NFL doesn't seem like they necessarily have all their ducks in a row or all their contingency plans laid out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just me being too doom and gloom. But I feel like they're not, the chances of another Titan situation popping up, it's more likely to happen than not.
Yeah, and it looks like the Titans are going to be able to try to go to their facility tomorrow if there's no more positive tests today, which is also, by the way, I'm looking at my phone as we're doing this to see when my results pop in for today.
Yep.
Because that'll be the same time the Raiders players will get theirs. We all test together, so I'll start checking Twitter right after that to see if anybody leaks anything. But as soon as I get my results, if we're on the air here, I'll let you know that they're in, and then we can start looking for which players are maybe posting negative results up on Twitter.
Adam, are you you're starting to get worried about just going to the facility?
No,
not
really. I mean, like I said, testing is not we've talked about it a lot this week because of certain people, but testing is not a cure or a prevention. It just tells you whether you have it or not. So it's not really the testing that keeps me from being worried, but like protocols are in place at the facility. We don't go near really anybody except the media that are tested every day, and we don't go near each other in media. We wear those trackers to make sure we don't go within 6 feet of each other, and we all wear masks all day, every day. So I feel like the facility is fairly safe.
You guys wear trackers?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
No, they swab every morning. You have to be there by noon because they actually send the results to a lab in LA, where they do the Chargers, Rams, and Raiders and 49ers, I believe.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you have to be there by noon. They send it off to LA, and then they return them around this time, around midnight or 1 a.m.
What about Brady's comment on the practice squad player?
Yeah, you would hope so. I think that's something like that's going to happen. We'll have Carr tomorrow on Zoom, so maybe somebody will ask him, "Are you going to pay this fine?"
How about this will be the first time ever Carr is on a call and he's like, "Hey, Josh Dubow, you got a question, brother?" He'll want some kind of stat question just so he can not ask freaking answer questions about COVID.
Well, he'll do another opening statement and say no COVID questions,
which is outrageous. You guys, there's no way you should stand for that. No COVID questions.
I started following that Josh Dubow guy on Twitter after you guys told me about the stats that he would
they're great.
Put out. Oh, it's great. I can't imagine he's popular in the locker room.
No.
Right?
No.
Well, I don't know.
Well, not among the Carr family or Carr.
I was going to say he might be with some people.
Oh, Nathan Peterman loves him.
Yeah. Yep.
Keep pointing out those bad stats, Josh.
No, I you know, on a serious note though, this no COVID question thing, like you're part of the community. You need to answer these questions. And again, you play in our stadium. This is
all for you.
It's a public health concern. Enough of this bullshit with no COVID questions. No, you lost the right to control the questions when you had 10 guys at a charity gala not wearing their masks. Sorry. Like I need to know if I'm going to a convenience store and I see a Raider, walk in, like, should I be fucking running in the other direction? Because I can't afford to get it. They can, and they have the best medical care. I can't.
And not just that, you're the one that decided when everybody else was separated from the crowd and didn't go near them. You, Derek Carr, are the one that decided to walk over to the fan, shake his hand, and give him a jersey and take a picture with your arm around him. Like, that's what you decided to do, not the rest of the team.
And, you know, this goes back to what Alex said earlier about politicians being worshipped and being treated like they're above other people. No, you're elected officials. You work for us. I don't, I don't care if who's the guy, Josh Hawley in Missouri. You're 43 years old. Fuck off. I don't care who you are. You want to play your games and, and be a troll. And I don't give a shit. And I don't live in Missouri, but, we elect you to do a job. And instead you're sitting on Twitter playing fucking games and trying to move up the ladder by currying favor with a bunch of lunatics.
Well, I mean, I think that accountability, whether it's the Raiders or politicians, with the COVID stuff, like saying no COVID questions sucks because I think that we should all hold each other accountable. Like maybe this is me getting on some, we should all be better soapbox, but like if one of your friends like wasn't wearing a mask in a setting where they were supposed to be, or if you went in and they were being weird about something, you might say something to them. You might like hold them accountable. So I feel like the no COVID questions thing is BS because it's the same thing with like a lot of the public universities, or not a lot. I know some with their football programs when earlier in the year were not reporting if they had positive tests or not. And it was like, hey, aren't all these kids on campus right now? Like I know school's not in session, but like, isn't this a public university?
Which, you know what? Let's get to that real quick because the schools have been even worse. It's been outrageous how much hidden stuff and put the city and the residents where they reside, where the school is based, in harm's way. And what Gary Anderson said the other day about Utah State, he can go after himself too. That was outrageous. Explain to the audience what he said about opt-outs.
Well, there was a story in the Salt Lake Tribune about the Mountain West, and it was about how every school had sort of an opt-out option for players who didn't feel comfortable playing with COVID, or maybe lived with someone with an autoimmune disease, or whatever it was, for whatever reason, right? Like everybody has a right to opt out. I personally don't think you should knock people, whether it's at the college football level or whether it's Avery Bradley or Trevor Rees in the NBA. If you've got a reason you don't want to go, that's fine. Do you. But then they said 11 of the 12 schools have an opt-out program. But Utah State's Gary Anderson says, you opt out, you're not with us. And so basically saying we're going to take away your scholarship if you opt out of the program. We don't let you opt out. There's no opt-outs at Utah State. I want football guys. I want tough guys. Like that mentality is so How dumb.
Disappointing. You'll have 10 other schools offering you if you're a decent player and you don't have to live in Utah. Rough break.
Well, Utah, Ogden, Utah.
You know what? I'm going to go beyond that. And it's Logan, Utah, by the way, because I've been to
Logan, right.
And believe me, it's you can barely tolerate the place. But it's not only that. You know what? Honestly, it's the whole region, which brings me to who's going to have more issues with COVID coming up, the Mountain West Conference or the SEC? This is a tough question.
I think SEC, but SEC will hide it. So Mountain West, they'll be honest about it.
You think? You trust the people at Wyoming, Colorado State, and Utah State?
Wyoming just had I think 11 positive tests.
Wyoming had an outbreak in their freshman group.
Yes.
CSU, after being outed as anti-maskers and COVID hoaxers, comes back last week. On Wednesday, they had 22 positives.
You know what? To be honest, Cofield, my initial answer was also going to be SEC. I do think they'll try to cover it up, especially because of what's at stake. But I hadn't really given the Mountain West that much like credence.
The problem
for being dumb.
It's the states and the region. It's Adam knows. Between Colorado, Wyoming, and Utah, there are a lot of progressive. Well, there are progressive areas in Colorado, but between the three states, you got some good old boy shit going on. And the problem with the SEC hiding it is I think they're going to have another wave of massive outbreaks with the students. Because if you saw the pictures of Georgia, did you see the Georgia crowd? That was a joke.
Was it Mississippi State?
No one's wearing masks. It's like, come on.
What school was it? Was it Mississippi State that kicked out their student section or part of their student section?
SMU.
Oh, that was SMU. Oh, my bad. I mixed my letters up there. Back to the Gary Anderson stuff, though, too. I got to bring this up because he was the coach at my alma mater, Oregon State. And in 2017, he opted out halfway through the season. He quit on the team after their loss to USC. I don't know if you guys remember that, but he quit on the team halfway through the year. He did give the money back for his contract, and there was rumors swirling. No one ever confirmed anything, but there was affair rumors of him getting a cheerleader pregnant, cocaine, boozing, all this stuff. Yeah, apparently. I know he's a Mormon, but I guess that means you just ratcheted it up a notch. But
sure, you got your freedom. Go for it.
But he opted out. Like he's of all the coaches I can think that not got fired or not got a buyout, but literally just walked away in the middle of the season. Like that's Gary Anderson.
My whole thing.
There's so many guys like that. The hypocrisy.
Of course.
PJ Flood, the sweater fuck up at Minnesota. He does the same bullshit, preaching loyalty. And then, as soon as he got to Minnesota, he bailed on his previous school. As soon as he got the Minnesota job, he tried to steal, the best 15 players.
Bobby Knight. Wow. Just always screaming at people to do the right things and stay on the right track. And you have no self-control or discipline.
Exactly.
It's amazing. Exactly. The Gary Anderson thing was funny from my perspective, just being selfish about it, is that any time a story comes up like this, like, hey, the league says you can opt out, then as somebody who covers a local team, like we have to call Marcus Arroyo and be like, hey, the league says you can opt out. What are your thoughts? And either you're going to get a no comment or we completely support the league. It's going to be the most generic quote ever. And it sucks making those calls. But you keep in the back of your mind that 1 out of every 1,000 times a coach really is going to say some dumb shit, and you're like, "Wait, what? Okay, all right, let me make sure I quote you accurately here. If you opt out, you opt out on us. Okay, let me make sure I print this. You're always expecting the generic, just hoping for that one moment.
For sure. No, that's what caught my eye about the story too. Was like, man, he didn't have to say that. Like he could have just gone with the conference. Which that to me just doubles down on. I mean, it's that toxic football culture. Like, I want football guys. I want dudes. I want guys that aren't scared of no virus. I don't want any bitches on this team. And it's like, hey, man, like we've seen your history. Like we've seen what you're at Utah State. Like what are you trying to recruit? Like, sure, maybe you'll get a couple. Who wants to play for that? I guess a couple dudes do, but I feel like the
hidden secret of Utah State and Wyoming and Colorado State is actually do have a lot of money. They have a lot of money backers, so their facilities are pretty nice. And like I said, they have money. So if they need players, they have money.
They have no more Jordan Love though.
No, they don't. So we'll. Although my recollection is that their backup was pretty goddamn good, but it was also against a UNLV defense. So.
Chucky Keaton? No, I'm kidding.
That tends to change things. Can I close on the concept of MAGA? Right? So we want to go back to the days. We want to go back to the days of the 50s and say up until the mid 60s. And we've done this one before, but I'm always blown away by like what life must have been like and how wearing it was on people. And I saw a picture. I'll tell you where it is here in a second, but it was this is I think it's a Vegas exec. He's 54 and he's with his 30-year-old wife, right?
Sounds
and you're like,
right.
Man, like how bad could Vegas have been? Like it's beautiful. You got pools and, drugs and women and gambling and it's just awesome. So I saw this picture and I was kind of blown away with the description, right? So the guy is 54. He married a woman who was 30. And like I looked at both and I'm like, what is happening here? First of all, that guy is 4 years older than he was. He's dead. That guy was 4 years older than I am now. And I look like shit. What is happening? And she's 30? Am I wrong on this one? I'm overreacting.
Are you saying they both look old as shit?
Yeah, yes. He looks 70 and she looks 45.
Hold on.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the point.
That was kind of the angle. I was like, what is going on here with this dude?
I didn't realize that when you sent the photo that was the point. But I do think that that's a fair point. They do look old.
He was president, entertainment director of the Sands, founder of the Jewish Federation. Awesome. Love the chosen people. Jack N. Tratter was 54. This was the Playmate of the Month in 1958. She was 30 in 1967, and there they are. And then they got divorced after a year, so Jack wasn't bringing the hammer. They had no blue pill back then. If they had a blue pill, he would have tore her up. They would have tore her up.
That's why I don't want to go back. That's why I don't want to go back to that era.
I was more disturbed by the cake.
What do you mean?
It's a weird cake.
Actually, I have my thoughts on the cake. I'm going to say again, I don't think America was that great with a cake that week. You see the cakes we make now?
Yeah, it's garbage. First of all, did you see the cake that looked like canes?
No.
Yeah, it was good.
What do you mean? What do you mean it looked like canes?
So cake they make
Raising
cakes that look
Cane's?
like anything. Yeah, they make cakes that look like anything now.
Okay, I'll find it.
I was going to try to find it for you, but
Cofield, I always have thoughts like that when people are like, "Oh man, the good old days." I wish I could have lived for the 50s. I wish I could have lived in the 50s. Life was simpler back then. I wish I could have lived in the 60s. Life was. I mean, sure, yeah, life was simpler, but I think if any of us, anybody from this modern era, were to actually go back and live then, they'd be shocked. They would be. Well, they'd be shocked.
We're working class schnooks. None of us could if we had a taste of today and we had to go back 50 years ago. How would we deal with the lack of technology?
Oh, we'd be so bored.
You think Adam's getting up and turning the knob on a tube TV?
Yes.
You think Adam is doing the rotary phone?
I've done it.
Were you alive when the rotary phones were still around?
I mean, I've seen some older ones. I've used them.
One of the dumbest things ever. The button phone was like at the time I was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, I never got the rotary thing. And honestly, for me, it's not even like I do long somewhat for a world with less technology and to be less plugged in and to simplify. But I do think that this idea of romanticizing the past is such bullshit. Like we would hate it. We would hate it if we went back then.
I actually, I was driving. I'm trying to think. Sunday morning, I couldn't sleep, so I was actually driving around the east side from like 1 to 4 in the morning before I did the Westgate show, and I actually did have the thought more than a few times driving up and down the strip. I'm like, I kind of miss old Vegas because I was here early enough that some of old Vegas was still here. I do kind of miss it. So maybe I'm a cheese ball, but. And then, the other thing, the funny thing is the 15 was all effed up on Monday when I was driving across town from Pizza Rock. And this is nuts. Every route going north, or the two routes going north, the 15 and then Frank Sinatra, right on the right side of 15 going north, they were all jacked up. And I'm like, I'm going to take the strip up. And that was a fucking nightmare. But I got to tell you, as I was going down the strip, I'm like, I do not want to get shot. Like, that's how bad it's been the last couple months. It is nuts here.
It's been really bad. It's been real bad. And there's, by the way, collusion going on right now. All the resorts on the strip are definitely colluding to raise their prices very high.
How much have they gone up?
Like 300%.
Yeah. Alex, have you heard what's happening?
No, I have missed all this. What's happening?
We've probably had in the last, what do you think, Adam? 2 months, 6 weeks?
The last 3 weeks has been particularly intense. So.
I feel like we've had 8 like pretty high profile fight the MGM, and the MGM's still a pretty nice property, right? You're not going to worry unless it's 1996 and it's Tupac, but you're not going to worry about people starting to shoot inside of the MGM, and some asshole just pulls out a gun and just gets off a couple of shots because he's annoyed with someone. Like, what? Vegas was never like that.
Rooms are too cheap. Rooms are too cheap right now.
Yeah.
Oh, so you just have crazies coming to town.
Yeah. That's why they're trying to raise the prices. They're trying to collude and raise the prices high enough where they can still get people coming, but not the people that don't want staying there.
This is a good one. Take industrial, Cofield. Yeah, dude, I didn't realize everything has been changed to Sammy Davis going up and down the strip club corridor. And then Adam and I were blown away because I spent a lot of time at Cheetahs. They were a client too, and I knew some of the management there. And then to see cheetahs now, the library, like, Adam, you didn't know that, right?
No, not until somebody tweeted us about it.
I had no idea. And I don't know, someone said cheetahs closed back on like August 21st. And the library, I guess, just, maybe they put the signage up in the last month. So,
well, they closed in March. They just shut down.
God damn.
Everybody did. Yeah, everybody did.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, they couldn't.
Yeah. There was we were talking about the violence. There was just a murder the other. Well, I don't know if murder is the right technical term, I guess, but somebody was killed in the valet area at the South Point, which is like right by my house.
Yeah, that one was actually didn't it start in the Grandview, the time here next to right. Yeah, I've stayed there before.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
And I would Adam lives right across from the South Point. Would you ever worry about getting like just random gunfire walking into the South Point?
No. No.
The security had it was outside, right?
Yeah.
Security had to come out. We'll see what the true story is, but apparently it started with some sort of violent incident in the timeshare, but security came out and freaking gunned a guy down. There was another one where one of the more recent ones, two guys lit someone up. They shot him. I don't think they killed him, but then this is great. The morons got in their car. They get on the 15. They're heading back to Southern California. They're speeding. They got pulled over. They got fucking pulled over. Like, get home. Don't freaking raise attention, idiots. They got pulled over for speeding.
Well, there's been some violence at a place that you fought at before too.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, but which place have I fought at? Casino Royale or
no?
State Door?
Yeah,
State Door. Well, there's not. By the way, it's not just the other one. I can name other places. So
I know, but ones that I've been involved in,
or someone who's wanted to punch me in the face.
Yeah.
There's Cofield. Do you get into like altercations often?
Oh, he's matured a little.
Not anymore. Now, after I got a bottle thrown on my head and it like barely missed my dome, at a place that is actually now really tight with Raider Nation, so I'm like, I ain't going there. Yeah. And I love that place. I love that place, but yeah, that was one of the last straws. So one of the last straws. We'll see.
Damn, you always seem like kind of a zened out guy to me.
No, I'm a cunt.
Yeah. The 26, 3 people were shot at the stage door.
That's crazy,
really?
Man.
Yeah.
Well, that's I mean, nothing against the stage door. It's kind of why I liked it. It's always been a rough crowd, and the workers, the women working and their bosses hanging out there. There was always an element,
an air of danger.
So when you say you miss Old Vegas, like what does that entail? I actually liked going up and down the strip when it was kind of smaller, and I was thinking of it again when I drove up the strip north and got past TI and Encore, and then you look up and you see where the Stardust was, and Resorts World is there, but the convention center is being built out. I used to like just walking in that area, like that was a smaller Vegas, with slots of fun and the Stardust right there, and freaking Riviera. You could walk across the street, and but it was a lot of the places. Even in the middle of the strip, like to imagine what the middle of the strip was as compared to now. I saw someone put up, the $2 buffet. I don't know when it was $2, but maybe it was like $5. Was it the Holiday Inn that had a late night buffet?
Yeah, Holiday Inn Crown Plaza, was it called?
Well, it was Holiday. It was Boardwalk Holiday Inn. They had the
Holiday Inn Boardwalk. Yeah, Boardwalk.
That's where that's in front of. Wait. Yeah,
Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo is. So it's basically there used to be this like dumpy Holiday Inn motel where you could actually pull right off the strip, and there was street parking. Like I shit you not, 50 feet from the strip. So and that was only 25 years ago. I can't believe this is nuts. It's like it's surreal that and then what Planet Hollywood is now. That used to be the Aladdin. You would pull into the Aladdin right off the strip. You could park right on the strip. It's just it's gigantic now, so it's gotten so much bigger.
It's not even walkable anymore because they try to make you walk into each resort. Yeah. Like you can't even just walk up and down the strip. It kind of sucks. But I like when people they say I miss Old Vegas. I'm like, yeah, there was some problems too. Like Sammy Davis couldn't swim in the pool, so like let's ease up on I miss the Old Vegas. Like there is some very negative parts of that.
Yeah, the barley story was not we're not talking about Mass Smoker. No, the Barley story was one of our friends who does radio. And I wasn't there. Were you there when he freaking tried to flip over the blackjack table?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were there. He got on a bad run. He got all pissed off, and he lifted up. He lifted up he gets a little rage filled. He lifted up the blackjack table and like fucking bounced it, and all the chips went flying.
Yeah. they don't look kindly upon that action. I can tell you that right now.
I
Yeah.
can't even imagine doing that. Like you were getting on me earlier for being obnoxious, tipping while I'm losing at blackjack and just kind of rolling the chips across the table. He picked like fucking Ginger style, in casino, just picked it up and slammed it.
I'm obviously not saying who it is. People would know who he is though, but I would ask this. Do you think he would be proud of that now, or do you think he would pretend it never happened?
I don't think he's to the point where he can admit stuff. I think he's got to get another 10 years in, and then he'll have a freedom. But I think now he'd be embarrassed. Now he'll be embarrassed because he's presenting an image like, hey, he gets
a family man now.
Yeah, he's a family man, and he gets to go on radio and and preach about bad behavior of athletes and keep it together. And we laugh. We're like, keep it together, dude. You were one of the craziest people we hung out with. Like if we're afraid of a fight breaking out or some drunken stupor.
Yeah, we have like 20 stories even better than that.
We come full circle, and now we're working with young Alex, and he's dealing with the Noahs of the world and the MAGA world, trying to run for office and in the very balanced Newport Beach.
Oh, it's terrible, man. It's terrible. It's hard out here. It's not. It's not. But people. No. But you've got Noahs.
I would love to hear from people who were around Cowherd. Do you think he ever got loose? Do you think he ever got crazy in Vegas?
No.
Wasn't he
no.
Here in his late 20s. You don't. Come on.
He was a TV guy then, though.
So we know TV guys who were maniacs.
Different time.
Yeah, better time.
Maybe.
It'd be easier to get away with it. You don't have some stupid fucking awful announcing blog or something trying to blow up your career. Because you're out flipping blackjack tables or, unfortunately, we know people who might get a little handsy with the cocktail waitresses. That could be trouble.
Nobody we know.
Living at an apartment complex and just buck naked, banging a chick out next to the pool with, it's all lit up, stuff like that. You don't think Cowherd did that?
Breaking the glass at the racquetball court.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. That was a good one too. Yeah, Alex, we have a friend we were playing. I was actually playing against him. I beat him when I could actually move, and he got so pissed off, sore loser, that those racquetball court doors are probably like, I don't know how thick are they? Something
Oh yeah, yeah.
And because obviously you can jump into the friggin' glass, and with a 250-pound body and not break it. But yeah, he broke the door. He slammed it, and the whole thing shattered.
Damn.
Like, hey, we need to get out of here.
Same guy that flipped the blackjack table.
You guys used to go hard.
And now he's lecturing people. He's lecturing athletes on behaving. Keep it together, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's the Gary Anderson syndrome.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Oh, come on. I mean, every you can almost guarantee, maybe outside of Dabo Sweeney, every football coach who lectures kids and, talks morals were just animals, especially if they played football. If they actually played football, they were just animals when they were 18 to 25 years old. Animals.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We wrap it. We'll, Alex, hopefully we'll see you next week with Big Mac. He'll be back from his hiatus.
I'll be back, and I'll maybe have eaten a Big Mac of sorts at Noah's Ark.
Can you get Noah to come on?
Dude, I probably could if you guys actually wanted.
How about a quick video? Maybe a quick video.
I feel like you guys are going to be too mean. Like, I feel like this crowd's going to tear him apart.
Oh, correct. You want him on here?
Yeah.
It's just Adams. I mean, I think he'd do it.
Yes.
I was told.
Can we get both? Can we get both candidates on? Have another debate?
Another debate
on Vegas radio, on Vegas late night podcast radio.
Yeah.
Come on, Noah. This will push your candidacy over the top.
Yeah.
I heard through the grapevine that Noah and one of the other incumbents, actually, not who he's running against, were considering dropping out of because it's not required that they do the debate. Because me and my friend were moderating it, and they thought we were gonna take it off the rails, and it was like we should have taken it off the rails. We were so chill.
You're a pro.
But we heard that they were gonna drop out the night before. That was like a rumbling through the grapevine.
Controversy in Newport.
I love it, dude.
Crazy scene to cover, man. It's a crazy scene.
It's so funny.
Left Coast Mike is everyone's been reminding us early voting October 17th. I'm well aware. Well aware.
They sent me my ballot in Vietnamese, so I need to switch that out. But then I will be voting.
All right. And I will give an exciting tease for tomorrow's show. Seren Petra will be on. This is not mocking on Seren at all, what I'm going to say. Seren is really cautious about COVID, right? Really cautious. He's got kids, and he's been really cautious. Tomorrow, we will break down my New Orleans trip that's coming up. I have to weigh how much New Orleans is open, how dangerous New Orleans is from a COVID standpoint, and there's a hurricane that's supposed to hit New Orleans on Friday or Saturday.
It's Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
I saw the latest projection was like 3 p.m. Saturday
Dude,
afternoon.
We're leaving at 4. We land at 11. We'll be fine.
11 p.m.
We're good to go.
I should have blown through by then.
Oh yeah, it's just like that.
Yeah. You're fine.
He's gonna.
Why would you even consider going?
It's all coming up tomorrow.
Jesus.
It's all coming up tomorrow.
That's a good tease.
Yep.